One man, one mission, to rid the world of chronic anxiety once and for all. The anxiety guy, Dennis Simsek, shares his personal transformation from living a life filled with overwhelming worry to becoming a full-fledged positivity machine, a leading authority in generalized anxiety. Dennis gets to the truth of your mental health challenges and sets you on a path to transforming each and every area of your life. Here he is, the one and only, the anxiety guy.
Welcome. This is episode 285. You're listening to the Anxiety Guy podcast, and I'm your host, Dennis Simsek. Today, I am convinced that 80% of anxiety sufferers are afraid of this. What is it? I'm going to reveal it to you today. But first, understand that this podcast episode is brought to you by the #1 anxiety recovery program available online today at theanxietyguy.com under Inner Circle. 16 weeks to freedom through the Inner Circle program today at theanxietyguy.com. And warriors, this understanding came to me after I saw over and over again the discomfort that came from anxiety sufferers when they were met with this emotional state. What am I talking about? I'm talking about neutrality. Yes, neutrality. Let me give you an example of neutrality. You're an anxiety sufferer. At least you've convinced yourself that you are. And for dozens of years, you've lived in fear. You've looked to prevent the worst possible situations from happening. You've distracted yourself from things that you don't like. And anytime you feel anger, or anytime you feel fear, or anytime you feel guilt or blame, you suppress it to the point where you're carrying around all this emotional luggage. And it gets heavier and heavier and heavier. And then you've got this spark. You've got this moment of neutrality. You've got this moment where you no longer have worries. You've got this moment where you're not experiencing the same bodily anxiety symptoms. You've got this moment where there's no chaos. There's no drama. There's no fear. And there's no worry. It's not a very pleasant or exciting place. It's not a fearful place either. It's neutrality. Now here's my definition of this state. A neutral emotional state where thoughts no longer connect with one another at a frantic pace, and where the spirit is at ease. Warriors, we are afraid of ease because we irrationally believe it may lead to dis-ease. It's backwards thinking, I know, but it's anxiety thinking which filters out positive possibility and filters in catastrophe when change is presented. Neutrality should be welcomed as a stepping stone to love and a new set of belief systems. It's a stepping stone that takes us away from our past interpretations of ourselves and reality and into a creative new set of interpretations, ones that are based around awareness and dissatisfaction for our present results. The truth is, warrior, when you're met with this neutral position, this neutral state in between fear and excitement, understand that it is a gray area. This gray area is one of peace, one where God's voice speaks just a little louder to us, and where we can finally begin living within creation and love and away from prevention and fear. Neutrality reminds me, warriors, of the law of transmutation. Dennis, what is the law of transmutation? Well, this law tells us that on the path towards change, any kind of change, we will take on many different forms. Healing anxiety is no different, as we will go from anxious to panicky to depressed to frustrated to irritable, etc. But at some point, we will be met with emotional neutralness. Just like a door that swings open, which initially creates confusion, this door leads to an uncertain but necessary path, one in which we find ourselves finally. Neutrality is growing out of our artificial selves and growing in to our natural selves. It actually allows us the opportunity to stop running from ourselves and to start understanding ourselves more deeply. Because without understanding, there can be no guidance. And without self-guidance, our inner childs will continue to believe that we are unworthy when nothing could be farther than the truth. Remember this, warrior. When emotional neutrality arrives, spend time with it. Plant the intention of getting to know it better, and I promise it will lead to the deeper answers you need to overcome anxiety and go beyond anxiety for good. The lesson of the day: when you are met with a state of neutralness, a place in between fear and excitement, a bland place, an empty place, go ahead and embrace it. Open your arms up to it, get to know it better, and allow it to guide you to the next intuitive answer. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. If you're enjoying this podcast, please go ahead and share it with somebody who needs it, or a group or a forum out there, because there are so many people out there that we can help to become more than anxiety. I'll see you in the next episode. Much love, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks for being an important part of the Anxiety Guy podcast community. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave a positive rate and review. If you're searching for further support on your road to recovery from anxiety, head over to anxietyexit.com and take part in the powerful End the Anxiety program based around the CBT model. If you're searching for a more one-on-one approach, you can sign up now for personal coaching sessions with Dennis via Skype. Remember, you are more than anxiety. See you in the next episode.